Hi, beautiful souls. In today's episode, we're exploring the profound wisdom of balancing the elements within us. And I know in recent years we have focused heavily on balancing the divine feminine and divine masculine energies, but we've not really acknowledged the importance of also balancing the elemental forces that shape our existence. Welcome to Spiritual Midwife, the podcast that tenderly guides you through the transformative journey of spiritual awakening and personal development towards the ultimate destination of soul sovereignty. I'm Claire Attio, a medicine woman and dedicated guide to the profound realm of soul sovereignty, and you are listening to Spiritual Midwife. So before we delve into practical ways to embody each element and create balance, let's first understand the essence of each element and its significance in our daily lives. So first, we're going to start with the earth. Earth being the stable and grounding force that connects us to the physical realm. Earth represents stability, nourishment, and abundance. It reminds us to stay rooted in the present moment and cultivate a deep sense of gratitude for the blessings in our lives. Then we move on to water, the fluid, the adaptable element that flows with the rhythm of life. Water symbolises our emotions, our intuition, the purification. When we cry, we're cleansing, we're releasing those emotions. It teaches us to embrace change gracefully and trust the ebb and flow of our inner tides. Moving on to fire, fire being the passion, the transformation, the vitality. It ignites our inner drive and fuels our creative endeavours. Fire encourages us to take bold action and pursue our dreams with an unwavering determination. Air, the element of intellect and communication, gives us clarity of thought and open-mindedness. It encourages us to seek truth and express ourselves authentically. What this channel is about. Aligning with our soul sovereignty, becoming our true, authentic soul selves. The element of air invites us to embrace the power of perspective and cultivate mental agility. And lastly, but not least, ether, also known as spirit or akasha. And it represents a divine essence that permeates all things. It transcends the physical realm and connects us to the infinite wisdom of the universe. Ether reminds us of our inherent interconnectedness and the boundless potential that is within all of us. So with that said, now we have a basis of what each element represents. Let's dive deeper into practical ways to integrate them into our daily routines so that we can achieve that balance and harmony. So looking at earth to begin with, what can we do? We can start our day with grounding meditation or simply stand barefoot on the earth for a few minutes each morning and connect with the earth's energies, connect with Gaia, allow that to permeate up through us. Or simply, which is my favourite of doing, although I have to admit, because my outdoor space isn't as I want it at the moment, but what I used to love doing is to take my first cup of tea or coffee, whatever it is you like to drink first thing in the mornings outdoors. And many a cold morning I've sat with wrapped with a blanket around me and just sit in that quiet space of dawn as I run through my day coming up. What is my day going to be like? And I organise my thoughts and in those moments, I listen to the whispers of my higher wisdom and gently remind myself of what's really important. It's a beautiful way to start the day. It's a very nurturing way to start the day. Connect with nature, spend time outdoors, whether it's taking walks in the park, hiking in the mountains, or simply sitting by a river or a lake. Immersing yourself in nature can help you feel more rooted and connected to the earth's rhythms. Again, I try most mornings to go for a walk in the country. I'm really fortunate that I live in the countryside. But if you have a park nearby, it is well worth setting the alarm an hour earlier to walk and talk with nature. Most of my greatest successful adventures have been ignited. The inspiration for them have come from my morning walks, have been given to me whilst on my morning walks. And nourishing foods, incorporate earthy, grounded foods into your diet, such as root vegetables, grains. Cooking with local produce will connect you with your area, will connect you with the rhythm of where you live, will connect you with the land of where you live. Seasonal ingredients also gives you that deepening connection to the earth and to the cycles. And by using seasonal ingredients, it brings us back into that natural rhythm of earth, those natural cycles. It's well worth making this subtle change. It's very powerful. The next, obviously, we're looking at water. What can we do to balance water within us? And water is obviously that emotional expression. So allow yourself to feel and express your emotions freely. Try to not dampen them down. Culture has had us, especially if you're British, either British stiff upper lip, we have been taught from a very young age to keep a lid on our emotions. And yeah, we don't want to be explosive and we don't want to spill out everything all over everybody and everywhere. But there are ways to intelligently, emotionally express yourself freely. And you can do that through journaling, through art, through simply talking to a really good, trusted friend. Embracing our emotional landscape can help us release the stagnant energies and cultivate greater emotional resistance. Hydration. Drink plenty of water throughout the day. Stay hydrated. Nourish your body from the inside out. You can also incorporate rituals like taking soothing baths or swimming to further connect with the healing power of water. And don't forget, when you're drinking water, bless it. Bless your water. Thank it. Spend a few moments sending it love before you drink it. And then obviously other activities that get you in the flow, that get you in moving and gets you into a space where it feels like time is stood still, and we've all been there. We've all been so engaged with an activity that it seems like that we're doing it for forever, and it's absolute. There is no concept of time. We're not looking at the watch. We're not looking at our phones. We're not thinking about what we've got to do next. We're completely and utterly submerged into that present moment. And this could be anything from playing music to dancing to practicing yoga to qigong or tai chi. Mantra is brilliant for regulating because you're using the breath with vibration and rebalancing the energy flows. I like to do mantra when I'm walking, so I've got the movement with walking. I'm in nature and I'm bringing in mantra, so I'm regulating my breath. I'm moving the energies through me. I'm physically So I'm working from a mind, body, soul aspect just by going out on my morning walk and incorporating other modalities within that walk. So there's lots and lots of ways. You don't have to do all these separately, because if you took them all separately, you think, oh, when am I supposed to do any work? When am I supposed to live my life? Be creative with how you bring these in and you actually undertake them. The next is fire. And fire is that creative expression. Set aside some time each day for your creative pursuits, the things that light you up, whether it's painting, writing, cooking, playing an instrument. Allow yourself to tap into that creative, your innate creative self, that expression of your authenticity. Poetry is my favourite. Even when I'm feeling super pushed for time, scribbling just one verse. And again, sometimes when I'm doing mantra, I can sometimes kind of slip on my mantra because something will come in and I will get a couple of lines of a verse for a new poem. And I kind of, I tell my higher self, remember that for when we get home so I can write it down. If you've got your phone and you feel inspired and you need to because you think you're going to forget it, you can quickly tap it into your phone as you're still walking, and then you start your mantra again. Doing these exercises, we start connecting spontaneously, creatively, with our higher selves, with divine. Divine starts talking to us in a whole host of different ways, depending on how open we are, depending on what work we've already done, depending on past life, soul, expansion and growth. Divine will connect with us in a way that is appropriate for us. It's down to us to listen to the subtleties of that connection. I find the poetry, just scribbling a few lines every day, and then when I finish that poem and when I read it back, it's usually over an experience. Sometimes it can be very cathartic. Sometimes it's a release for me. I can't tell you how many poems I have written and then I have done a little ceremony and burnt and returned it to ether, because it's allowed me to express some pain, some hurt, some struggle, some challenge. It's allowed me to express it. It's allowed me to release it from my system. And so then I do a little ceremony of gratitude and I burn that poem and I scatter those ashes onto the land so that they are put back into the matrix with love. They're put back into the earth with love. They're put back into ether with love. There are other times I write poems and I actually publish them because they're beautiful and they're inspirational. Our creativity doesn't always have to be positive. And I've talked about on a video, I don't believe I've done it in a podcast, but I think I've done it over on the YouTube channel where I've talked about toxic positivity. We need to be mindful. We don't always, yes, we don't want to sit and wallow and woe me, but we wouldn't be being true to ourselves if we're pretending to be happy and life is wonderful 100% of the time, because that is not what life is. Life is ebb and flow. It's up and down. We live in a reality of polarity. That's how we understand our world. And so if we're trying to be positive all the time, we're not being true and authentic. Allow your expression. Don't be embarrassed by your expression. You may not always want to share what that expression is. As I said, there are some poems that I would never publish because they're very personal, but they have, in that authenticity, been very cathartic. Don't underestimate the power of your expression. Again, physical movement. Incorporate regular exercise into your routine to get that energy flowing and invigorate your body. whatever that is. That could be yoga, dancing, martial arts. Find an activity that makes you feel alive and energizes you. Setting intentions is really good. Start each day by setting a clear intention of what you want to accomplish or manifest, or how you want to feel. Visualize that as if you've already achieved it, and take inspired steps, actionable steps towards making that, it, them, a reality. But remember to make your goals about what you want, not what you think you need. And I add it and it's important because so many people get hung up on setting intentions, and especially when we talk about goals, we very often kind of go into the whole coaching mode of, SMART and our goals and what they are, and writing it down and making a map and playing it through. Our goals can be that we're going to have a really good day that day, that we're going to be happy all day. And we set that intention, especially if we're going through challenging times, or we've had a loss, or there has been some drama and chaos and you just want some peace. You can set your intention that today is going to be a peaceful day. That is such a beautiful, nurturing, self-caring act to undertake. And then obviously we move into air. And again, mindful practices. Air is all about the mind. So mindful practices, cultivating present moment awareness through mindfulness meditation, deep breathing exercises, or simply paying attention to your breath throughout the day. This can help calm the mind and cultivate mental clarity. Tonglen, and I've done a video on Tonglen, is a brilliant method when stressed or starting to go into overwhelm. It can be as short or as long as you want, and it can be done even in the office, at the computer with your co-workers, none the wiser. You can just take that breath in, be conscious of taking the breath in through the nose and conscious of taking it down to the heart and keeping it in the heart and hugging it with so much love. Whatever it is that's stressing you out, love it, love it, love it to death. And I, really love it to death, because you hug it so tightly, it can do nothing but absorb the love that you're giving it, and then you breathe out. You breathe it out, and what's coming out is just love. And what you've actually done is you've changed the energetic dynamics within that moment. Tonglen is fantastic. I will, if I remember, put the link in the description box, because I have done a video on that, absolutely. Intellectual stimulation. So engage in activities that challenge your mind. So many people have had a hard day at work, they come home, they eat their dinner, they sit in front of the TV and they zone out. And quite honestly, with a lot of what is on mainstream, you're adding to the mental mayhem. Be mindful, challenge your mind, expand your horizons, read, learn new skills, engage in stimulating conversations with others, seek out diverse perspectives and be open to new ideas. And also be mindful of your social circles. Do they challenge you mentally? Do they champion your expansion of self? Are they supportive of the changes that you want them to make in your life? It's very easy to have a physically challenging day, mentally challenging day, and wanting to come home and relax. As I said, what are you feeding your mind in those times of relaxing? Are you just putting on the TV mainstream and listening and zoning out, but absorbing agendas, mayhem, chaos, the matrix to keep you stuck? Or are you putting on some soothing music or listening to an audiobook that expands? You still can zone out, but on a subconscious level, you're taking in healthy, nurturing mental material. Lastly, we've got attuning to ether. And if you've been doing all of what we've just mentioned, then you are most definitely connecting with divine. Just remember to trust your intuition and your inner wisdom. Pay attention to the synchronicities, signs and symbols that may offer insights. I say may, but actually they do offer insights. It's guidance from the universe. Remember, those little nudges, those signs, those symbols, those synchronicities are the universe's way of communicating with you. And surrender. Surrender to the flow. Release the need to control. Trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should, and allow yourself to be guided by the wisdom of the universe. And it's all too easy when to all intents and purposes in a 3D reality, it looks like everything is crashing down around us. We go into that flight fight mode and we try and shore everything up. We try and stop the tower. And yet that tower exists in our life for our betterment. It needs to crumble because it's not functioning. It's not right. It's not going to allow us to attain and step into our full potential. When towers show up, don't fear them. Embrace them. Give yourself time to lick your wounds if you need to, by all means, but don't fear. Don't try and stop them. Don't run from them. Don't ignore them. Don't pretend it's not happening. Let it fall. Let it crumble. Lick your wounds. Dust yourself off. Pick out the gems, take the lessons, and then step forward. That's what surrendering is all about. And surrendering doesn't always mean towers. Surrendering can be pushing past a belief, pushing past something that we've been taught that is wrong, but actually we feel it's right for us. It's surrendering and exploring the possibilities. It's that expansion. There is no right or wrong. There's just what feels good and appropriate for us whilst doing no harm to others. By integrating some or all of these practices, we can achieve profound sense of balance and alignment with the elements. The elements within us, the elements around us. And in doing so, we pave the way for soul sovereignty and authentic self-expression. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, rate and review the podcast. Until next time, beautiful souls, may you find balance and harmony in all aspects of your life. Bye-bye.